Miss Carrie from Miss Carrie's Creations, and we are playing with the Everyday Moments collection once again. If you have not had a chance to take a look at this collection, please remember that it is only available exclusively through my consultant affiliate link, which is down in the description below. I was asked by Close to My Heart to create 2 projects using this magical key, one showing how to use it as is and one showing it reimagined. Today in this video, you are going to be able to see how I created a magical birthday layout using this image as is in the Everyday Moments collection. Let's take a look at this image in Cricut Design Space. First, we will find that image in our image library. Since we know it's in the Everyday Moments collection, we can go ahead and click Image Sets, filter to our purchased Cricut collections, and search for Close to My Heart. This is a list of all the Close to My Heart collections I own, and I'm just going to scroll all the way down to that Everyday Moments collection. I'm going to go ahead and select that magical unicorn design and insert it into my canvas. Let's take a look at what's included with this image. This 8.5 by 11 page includes a lot of images. So take a look over there in the layers panel. You'll see there is that 8.5 by 11 background that you could cut out using your Cricut, or you could go ahead and hide that and use a piece of 8.5 by 11 paper you have. There also is a crown and a bow you could add to or exchange for the flowers. You have that unicorn horn, the photo mats, the stars, and the title. Like I said, this video is showing you how to use this project as is. I cut out all of the images using a variety of cardstocks and papers, and I started making a layout of my daughter's birthday that took place almost 20 years ago. Here are 2 photos of my daughter at her birthday party, which I have matted in some bright pink paper from the These Are My People collection. I chose to use a piece of peach polka dot pattern paper for my background, which is from the same collection. Over here on the right, I have all of the parts and pieces that I cut from that magical key. We're going to start by just dry fitting some of these images. Across the top is this floral decoration, and I cut the background from holographic paper and the overlay using pixie cardstock to match the photos. Let me show you how these two go together. You're going to want to carefully apply glue onto this overlay. The holographic paper does work well with this liquid adhesive. Just remember that you don't want any seeping through because it will show up on that holographic paper. Once I've added my adhesive, I'm just going to line the 2 images up. And as you see, I did have a little bit ooze out underneath. So I am just going to grab a little alcohol wipe here and dab the image to go ahead and get rid of that excess glue. To assemble the unicorn horn, you are just going to glue all of the matching pieces onto the back. I cut the horn itself from white glitter cardstock and cut the inserts from raspberry, pixie, bashful, wisteria, and lilac. These are the same colors that I cut the flowers from because they just happen to match the photos of my daughter's birthday party. I love all the bright colors in this unicorn horn, and as I look at this image, there's a couple of other things I can think of using it for. Along with the unicorn horn, you have the ears and the eyelashes. The ears I cut from white daisy, white glitter, and bashful. They simply get glued together. If you want to add some additional dimension like I did, you can use some thin 3D foam dots behind the bashful portion of the ears. Now that we have the horn and the ears assembled, we're going to put together the crown and the flowers. The crown was cut from gold foil paper and vellum, and I'm just going to go ahead and stick those 2 together and set it aside. The flowers that were cut from this project have quite a few more layers. So we can see here I did cut some leaves from white daisy cardstock. I dry embossed them using a dotted embossing folder to add a little bit of dimension. The centers of the flowers were cut from holographic paper, and all of the other parts of the flowers were cut from the same colors as the unicorn horn. I also added a little bit of peach to match that peach polka dot background. Each one of these flower layers are stacked right on top of each other, and you can choose to glue them flat using some liquid adhesive, or you can add some 3D foam dots in between each one to add a little bit of dimension. Now you can see here, I'm kind of fussing with the flowers. Some of these cuts feel a little bit off to me, but I'm just going to play with them, and you'll see on the finished layout, I do make a few changes. Here, I'm just showing you how they go together according to that Cricut image in the Everyday Moments collection. Now that all of these images have been assembled, let's go ahead and take a look at what this looks like dry fit onto an 8.5 by 11 page. We have this fun holographic overlay that goes on the top. We'll layer on the unicorn horn and then those cute little ears, the glitter eyelashes, all of those fun three-dimensional flower elements. I'm also going to add some little branches that I cut from black glitter paper, those leaves that are polka dotted with the dry embossed folder. And I've also cut out some gold foil stars, and these just go right there next to the photos. There's also a title that goes with this page that says magical. And I've cut it out of a couple of different colors because at the time I hadn't decided what I wanted to use. Here I'm showing you raspberry and how that goes right on to the page above the photos. If you are to create this page as shown in an 8.5 by 11 design, this is what it's going to look like. I do not scrapbook in 8.5 by 11, and I know some of you don't either. So I've taken this layout and I have placed it onto a 12 by 12 page. Let me show you what that looks like. I placed that polka dot paper down onto some white daisy cardstock and added a strip of butterfly mix-ins there on the right. I'm going to go ahead and adhere down that floral piece with the holographic paper at the very top of that polka dot paper. I felt like this needed a little bit of dimension, so I've grabbed my black and white dots here and I'm adding small little dots at the tip of each one of those branches. Really easy to do and a fun addition to the top of this layout. Now I will adhere that unicorn horn at the center of those flowers using some 3D foam tape so it pops up off the page. I'm going to grab some of those birthday photos and start adhering them down. This is going to eventually be a 2-page layout because, like all of you, I have lots of birthday photos. There at the bottom of the page, I have added some vellum strips to help ground these bright pink framed photos. The softness of this vellum reminds me of my daughter's sleeves on her princess dress. Do you remember that crown I cut out? Well, that's going to go down here at the bottom with this fun title. I did add some black to that. I really think it pops off the page, kind of Disney-esque, and it matches the centers of the flowers. Speaking of flowers, you might have noticed that I did make a few changes to these. I cut out a few larger pieces to really make them bold and beautiful on this page. I also kind of muted some of the holographic paper with some layers of vellum on top. They were almost too bold for me on this layout, especially with that large piece at the top. So we just have little touches of that holographic paper peeking out of the flowers. I'm going to finish assembling this unicorn by adding those ears and the eyelashes onto the page. Making the choice to create that title in black was a good one. It matches well with the flower centers and with the eyelashes. Just kind of helps balance out the page. I will be carrying over some of that black glitter onto the second page. This layout has so many fun layers. As my husband said, it just portrays every bit of our daughter's personality at this age. I'm adding all of those fun little dotted leaf layers. I am so glad I embossed them. I think the dimension that those polka dots add, it just matches the polka dot background and it adds just some fun texture to this little unicorn image. Another thing you're going to notice that I changed was the stems. I really tried to add those black stems, but I felt like they just were not matching the softness of this page. So I went back and cut out those stems out of vellum. I really like the way this looks. The softness of the vellum matches the softness of my daughter's princess dress. And like my husband said, you can see every bit of my daughter's personality on this layout. I've gone ahead and added another photo to the layout. Now remember, this is going to be a 2-page spread, so those will carry on to the second page. And then I am adding those gold foil stars around the unicorn to form a visual triangle with the crown below. To add dimension to this crown, I am just bending it a little bit, and then I'm going to add a 3D foam dot right there in the center before I adhere down the rest of that title. I placed some strips of 3D foam tape onto the back of the title, and I am starting from the right and working towards the left just so I can make sure that my spacing works out with this title. To complete the layout, I added a couple of these are my people stickers from the sticker sheet, and this layout is all complete. How cute is this? We took that 8.5 by 11 page and turned it into a 12 by 12 layout. I just love how this turned out. Like I usually do, I did add a few more embellishments after taking a step back. I added a heart sticker, some fun little black dots, and that rose sticker. Not a lot of changes, but I wanted to make sure I pointed those out to you. I want to be completely honest with you at this point. When Close to My Heart asked me to create this, I panicked. This unicorn, as adorable as it is not something I would have normally created. And I'm sure like you, I may have passed it over because not only is it 8.5 by 11, it is not really an image I would have planned on using. But I am so glad I got chosen to use it. We were able to turn it into a 12 by 12 page, use all those fun colors that were in the original Everyday Moments key, and honestly, I love the way this layout turned out. Remember, this is not my reimagined layout. This is my layout showing you how to create the image as shown in the Everyday Moments collection. If you wish to see my reimagined creation that I make from this magical key, make sure to hit that subscribe button and the notification icon so that you are notified when that project is added to my channel. If you would like to see other projects using the Everyday Moments collection, you can click on that collection icon above. I hope you have a wonderful week, and I can't wait to see what you create.